The Philippines is entering a period of deep political uncertainty marked by internal disputes, contested leadership, and rising foreign entanglements. What began as simmering tensions within the ruling elite has erupted into a full-scale struggle for control, leaving the country's leadership fractured and its citizens anxious about what lies ahead. Vice President Sara Duterte recently signaled a major shift in the country's political trajectory. A spokesperson for the vice president made a provocative public remark, stating that the Philippines needs a vice president ready to assume the presidency at any time. While the comment was brief, its implications were far-reaching. In a political climate where military backing can determine leadership longevity, this statement is widely interpreted as a challenge to President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. The Duterte political faction, long embedded in the country's governance structures, appears to be quietly strengthening its influence within the military. Control of the armed forces remains a decisive factor in Philippine politics. Regardless of economic challenges or ballooning deficits, military support has historically shaped the outcome of political contests in the country. By cultivating key relationships within the ranks, the Duterte bloc could be preparing for a significant power shift. Adding complexity to the situation is President Marcos's own family. His sister, Senator Amy Marcos, recently introduced legislation that would criminalize the use of international legal mechanisms, such as the International Criminal Court (ICC), to target political rivals. The timing is noteworthy. Former President Rodrigo Duterte is currently facing an ICC warrant over alleged human rights violations during his term. With this bill, the Marcos family appears divided, as Amy's actions could limit her brother's ability to navigate international legal pressures. While the Marcos administration has used the ICC as a tool to legitimize accountability, this new legislation raises concerns about shielding political figures from international scrutiny. Critics suggest that the bill could serve as a preemptive defense against future prosecutions, not only for the Dutertes but potentially for others within the political elite. Meanwhile, a key figure in President Marcos's cabinet has come under fire. Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro is now facing serious legal and political consequences after reports surfaced that he had pledged allegiance to Malta in a bid for dual citizenship. Under Philippine law, public officials are prohibited from holding foreign nationality, and this revelation could lead to his removal from office. For President Marcos, this development is particularly damaging, as Teodoro has been a staunch supporter and one of the administration's key military links. With a weakening grip on defense and deepening internal fractures, the Marcos leadership is under immense pressure to respond. Some analysts believe the vice president's faction is now waiting for the perfect opportunity to consolidate power further. If military command continues to slip from the president's hands, a major political reshuffle could follow. At the heart of this turbulence is a larger geopolitical context. The United States, a longtime ally of the Philippines, has remained relatively silent amid the internal discord. Analysts speculate that Washington could be using this period of instability to reinforce its military ties with the Philippines. A more reliant Philippine military opens the door for expanded arms deals, military training programs, and strategic coordination, especially in light of maritime tensions with China in the South China Sea. The Philippines' strategic location has always made it a focal point for U.S.-China rivalry, and any internal instability increases its value as a geopolitical pawn. For Washington, a dependent but cooperative partner in Manila may be preferable to a politically independent one. For everyday Filipinos, however, the implications are grave. Inflation continues to climb as the peso struggles against the dollar, and the cost of living grows more burdensome by the month. The country relies heavily on imported goods, particularly fuel and food, and any governance paralysis could further destabilize an already fragile economy. In the meantime, political leaders remain preoccupied with retaining influence rather than crafting policies to ease public suffering. In theory, President Marcos still has a few remaining options. He could move swiftly to secure a loyal defense chief to re-establish military backing. Alternatively, he might negotiate a compromise with the Duterte bloc, offering Vice President Sara a position of real authority in exchange for stability. A more ambitious approach would involve pivoting toward pragmatic foreign policy, rebalancing between U.S. and Chinese interests to extract tangible economic benefits. However, each of these strategies carries significant risks. A military reshuffle could provoke further unrest. Concessions to rivals might erode Marcos's already fragile authority. And navigating between global powers demands skillful diplomacy the current administration has yet to fully demonstrate. Ultimately, what's unfolding in the Philippines is more than a contest of personalities, it's a test of institutions. Without a return to coherent governance, the country risks becoming trapped in a cycle of instability, hindering both development and democratic integrity. While political actors calculate their next move, ordinary Filipinos face the consequences of every misstep. The stakes have never been higher.